There is a bunch of stuff going on in the Nintendo community right now, but the main thing is we got those new Mario Kart courses. They're like a week or so old by the time we're recording this, probably about 2 weeks by the time you guys are hearing this, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 5 is out, and we have a lot to talk about regarding it. PJ, do you want to run through everything we're going to do today? I hear there's a little bit of tier list action. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, so why don't you break it down?
Yeah, we are going to be ranking every single course from Wave 5, so obviously we got the tier list maker, the classic, so we can just do that. And then we're going to be talking about, will we get another booster course pass? Because this one has been peak so far, and, you know, we've had characters we didn't even see coming, a bunch of courses that have looked beautiful, and will we get another one? We'll get right into it. So without further ado, I think we just get right to the tier list, guys.
Yeah, welcome back to the Nintendo Tonight podcast.
Perfect.
Episode 50. It's, I don't know, it's your premier 54? Nintendo podcast, but we're 54, 53 or 54. I think 54.
Yep.
54 sounds about right. Welcome back to your premier Nintendo podcast.
Last episode you were sleeping, so
yeah. That would make sense. The Sleepy Thomas bit never gets old, but we have a bit of a tier list here to go through. So with every wave, we get 8 tracks. And normally, I think I speak for everyone when I say, normally these tracks, there are a couple stinkers. Most of them are pretty good, and then a bunch of them are, you know, good to great. Like it kind of depends. Like I remember Wave 4, we had a couple of great tracks. We got DK Summit, something like that. I remember Wave 1, we had like Coconut Mall, if you want to call that a great track, and not too much Ninja Hideaway, maybe not too much great. Here, I don't want to spoil anything. I feel like this is one of the most solid and consistent selections of tracks we've ever got in terms of, I think almost everything is like pretty average, and then very rarely do you get in this wave at least something that's really good or really bad, which I guess is a good and a bad thing because you don't get anything that's, you know, completely garbage. But on the same side of the coin, I don't think any of these are going to become one of my favorite tracks. But anyway, let's jump right into what's the first track on the tier list?
We got Athens Dash. What are we thinking?
I think like what Thomas said, I think it's an above average track. I don't think it's a bad one. I think it's pretty unique, like stylistically in ways. It's definitely one of the more unique of the city tracks for sure. I personally would put it like high B, maybe low A if we're going based on like just the whole thing like all together, but I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Thomas?
Yeah, I like this one a lot because as the city tracks go, I just get bored driving around in a city. And Athens, obviously being a completely fictional location, it's a lot more fun to drive around in, being that it doesn't exist, you know, in real life. So I think, no, I'm kidding. I think it's I don't know, Athens, like, as far as the course goes,
me for a second.
I forget who it was. Some YouTuber like made that joke, and I found it so funny in the video. I forget who it was. I can't give credit, but
did dude get cooked in the comments? I'd hope so. Jesus.
I thought it was so funny. No. I think it was intentional. I think it had to be a joke, but
fair enough.
I found it so funny. But anyway, yeah, no. I like the thing about Athens though is it doesn't feel like a city that you're driving around in the same way that, you know, New York Minute, you're driving around a city, or even like Sydney Sprint or Amsterdam Drift. Like Amsterdam Drift, you got underwater sections, now you're in like a field of flowers, but it is kind of like a city track. This feels more akin to like Dry Ruins or something like that. Like it doesn't really feel like a city track at all in terms of like you have to base the track by going around these buildings. So this is probably my favorite city track just because it feels like the designers could be more creative with the routes that they were choosing rather than having to work around, you know, one giant city. And yeah, you get parts like even this part, visual viewers, like there's a part where giant boulders are falling down and you have to avoid them, and there's a cave to the left that you can mushroom in, and like there's boost pads everywhere. Like this feels like a Mario Kart track. This doesn't feel like a, you know, one of the ported over, you know, questionable courses. So I like this one. I would probably give this like a B or maybe even an A.
I mean, just picking back off of what you just said, I'll let you go in a second, Peachy. But I think it's a very focused city track. Like there's not a lot of like fan service stuff like you see with like, I feel like with a lot of the other city tracks that compares. You got the Eiffel Tower, and then it's kind of just like, you know, just going through like, you know, Paris or whatever, or in Amsterdam, like the canals and the tulip fields. I feel like those they're just like little sections to be like, oh look, this is this city. But I feel like this like it very like holistically works as a Mario Kart track.
I think the booster course pass as a whole, it's gotten better as it's gone on. Not only like the quality of the tracks, because I remember initially Wave 1, it was like, okay, Coconut Mall looks like it's right out of like Mario Kart Tour. It looks really bad kind of thing. And it's just been getting better and better. But like with what you said, Thomas, about like the tour tracks or whatever, I was just like not a fan of them at all. And this one has to be my favorite. I mean, you literally like stole the words out of my mouth because I was going to say this. Like, this feels the most like a Mario Kart track opposed to the other tour ones. Like, if you took out the arrows and you asked me if this was like a tour track, I would say, nah, it's probably like Mario Kart 8 original. Like, that's how like pure it feels to the game rather than it like a Mario Kart tour track. So
it very much fits in.
Yeah, like I'm comfortable putting it B, so I think that's fair, and then obviously we can move it around.
I think that's a good starting place for us here,
B.
And then we'll be able to rate above or below, depending on
Totally agreed.
Sounds good.
All
right. So next up here, guys,
take incoming from
Daisy Cruiser.
Controversial take.
Hit us.
Everyone says this is one of the best Mario Kart tracks ever. Maybe this is really controversial. Maybe this is like my first time playing this track was not on Double Dash, but was actually on Mario Kart 7. So maybe it's because I don't have the nostalgia for it because I wasn't a Double Dash player. But I don't think this is one of the cream of the crop Mario Kart tracks. In fact, I think it's one of the worst in the series. I don't think it's that fun. It's a relatively short track. All the turns feel somewhat unnatural. The sliding dining tables is like a relatively fun gimmick, but it gets a little boring. You go underwater if you want to lose the race because there's absolutely nothing down there and it's just a lot slower. I don't think it looks great on Mario Kart 8 either. Like there's no like there are a couple, but very like there's no like toads on boats circling around the cruiser. Like it just kind of this track just feels boring to me. I'm not nearly as much of a fan of it as I think most other people are. I just don't really see the appeal. There's not like I feel like Daisy Cruiser does nothing better than any other track, so I don't know why everyone is like always such a big fan of it, but that's
I feel like this
maybe
is
that's
heavily carried. I feel like this is heavily carried by nostalgia. Like I feel like it was a lot better than it actually was, back playing it on Double Dash, because that was my first Mario Kart game I've ever played. So that I feel like that has definitely been it. And then also Daisy Cruiser is kind of iconic from like Sluggers on the Wii, like Mario Super Sluggers on the Wii as well, because like that's a field that you can play on. So I think that also may have something to do with it. But like I agree, I'm not gonna like go as hard on it as you did, saying like one of the worst in the series. But like I pretty much agree about the premise where it's just like it's very awkward. Like I love the music, I love the vibe of it, but like as an actual track, like it's very strange for sure. And like might be a hot take again, but I'm kind of with you to where I don't hate putting this lower than people probably expect for sure.
It's funny because coming into today, I actually hadn't played any of them because I had been gone on vacation.
I was going to expose you eventually.
I texted them like 2 hours beforehand, like, okay, I totally forgot to play these tracks. I played for like 2 hours, like right before we started, and I'd say out of all the tracks that were released with Wave 5, this was probably the one I was the most excited for, just because like Mario Kart 7 was like my Mario Kart game growing up. Like I played a lot of that like at school on my 3DS and stuff like that. And I was really disappointed. I didn't know if it was like what was going on, but I think you guys are right. It's just a boring track. It's like it's got a cool premise of being like on a cruise ship, but that's about all that it has going for it. Like the layout's pretty boring. There's nothing really going on. Not a lot of hazards. It's just like it's cool because it's on a cruise ship. That's literally the only thing I can like think of. Like it's got really nothing going for it. So I'd be down to put this pretty low on the tier list, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. So what are we thinking here, guys?
I'm down for a C tier.
I was about to say C.
F.
Yeah.
I don't even know if
terrible.
any of these are F. Save maybe one we'll get to in a second, but or in a bit. But yeah, I don't think it like I was probably a bit too harsh on it in my opening like rant. I don't think it's like a terrible track or anything. It's just it's not one I'm gonna like groan and be annoyed about if it comes up on random online. But I'm also at this on the same coin. I don't think I ever pick this track out of the 3. Because if the other two options are like that bad that this would be my favorite out of the 3, I'm just going random. Because I think it's a slightly below average track.
I'm with you.
But, yeah.
Agreed.
All right. Next up here, guys.
What do we have here?
Koopa Cape. We got Koopa Cape next. Ooh. And this is another kind of hot take. I think this did not age well whatsoever. So Mario Kart Wii, obviously, I'm going to kind of skip ahead here for the visual viewers because we have the gameplay of the tracks going up. But when you get into this underwater part, after you go down the tube, they actually took out the little electric, I don't know what you call that, but like the electricity bars that like kind of blocking you, they moved and you had to like drive through them. And they replaced them with like the anti-gravity booster things. Like, Thomas, you know the actual terms for these things. I'm not like a Mario Kart diehard like you, but spinners, you get what I mean. And they kind of like replaced them with these, and I'm like, that kind of sucks. I mean, I wasn't like the whole part of the going through the tunnel was like, oh my god, we have to be careful for like the electricity, or else you're gonna get hit by it and obviously stuck way behind. And the half pipes, the only times that I've like played this course so far are in 200cc, so obviously like going off those, it gives you a nice speed boost. So I enjoyed that. But I definitely prefer the Wii version over this just due to Mario Kart 8's mechanics, I guess. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's not like a huge gripe or anything for me, but I mean, it's definitely not as high as it would have been, opposed to if we did a Mario Kart Wii course ranking, and I would have had this like a lot higher. But yeah, that's just my take.
Yeah, I don't really get the hype for this track. I think it's honestly kind of a boring track, if I'm being completely honest. It's definitely carried by the Wii nostalgia, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I've always hated the tunnel section, if I'm being completely honest. Like, I always, like...
What?
You hit the sidebars. I always wanted to, like, go, like, in a loop-de-loop around the tunnel or whatever, but it never stops you halfway up.
Yeah.
I always thought that was so dumb. And then it kind of just like it feels like a rock mountain kind of track where it's just like it's there. I don't think it's that creative if I'm being completely honest, and I kind of think it's a waste of a spot if I'm being completely honest.
Wow,
hey, I will come in and say this was my favorite track on Mario Kart Wii. I don't know why. I think I just love.
I'm so with you, honestly.
Of like,
yeah.
I loved like driving in the water and getting a boost, because in this part right here under, when you're in the pipe underwater, this was originally not underwater. So driving in the water stream that was in the pipe would give you a boost. So you had to stay kind of in the middle of the road, but then also avoid the lightning that was coming around and all the items that were being thrown. I just like this track on Mario Kart Wii, and it's not ruined here. I know a lot of people have been saying it was completely neutered, completely murdered. It's not. I mean, it's the same course, just slightly worse. I would say this is not the definitive version of Koopa Cape, and a lot of that also has to do with the visuals for me too. I don't know why they replaced the mountain with like the mountain is now like brown. It used to be gray in the Wii, and I think it looked so much better that way. I mean, none of this really like not even changing the underwater section and getting rid of like the lightning bars. None of those changes on their own are that big, but I think adding all of them up, it just makes this course a little like, oh yeah, it's Koopa Cape, and that's about it. Like it's nothing super special. It's nothing incredible, and I say that as a huge original Koopa Cape fan. It just kind of is like, it's a fun course. It's it's a good time, but it's nothing that'll blow your socks off. At least in the Booster Course Pass. I would say probably B tier for this. I think it's worse than Athens Dash, but I don't think it's as bad as or as boring as Daisy Cruiser.
I'm with that, Mac.
Yeah, I agree. I think B behind Athens is right where it belongs.
All right.
There we go.
Next
this
up here,
is big.
oh my
God. Think the next course,
is that?
If we're just going in order, it would be Squeaky Clean Sprint.
Yeah, let's do it.
Is the next one. So this
is
I'll
peak.
just say it, for me, the absolute highlight of this wave.
It's so funny.
It's very fun. I like it a lot. I don't think it's like, I've heard some people say this is now like one of the best like top 5 Mario Kart tracks ever. I have to play it a lot more to see that ever get there, but like this is probably top 10 for me in the game right now. I think this track is super fun. There's never a boring part of this track. Like whether you're at the start, you're trying to get into the bathtub, once you're in the bathtub, when you're underwater in the pipe, even when you're coming up on this final like big turn, there's a fan blowing you off so you can't take the inside line. Then you boost up with the glider path to get to a higher path, which is a lot quicker. And then there's a bunch of alternate paths if you take the top path with the toilet geyser. If you take the top path, then then there's a bunch of alternate paths that you can get to when you cross the starting line. I just think this course is really fun. I don't think it's nothing insanely revolutionary here. It kind of just feels like if Ribbon Road was.
I was just about to say that it's just it's a better Ribbon Road. That's what it is.
I think Ribbon Road is. I ranked Ribbon Road, I think, third in the entire game.
Really?
When I did my track ranking, I love Ribbon Road. That's the only course I've ever time trialed.
Yeah.
It's just super fun with the two shortcuts at the end too are so hard but satisfying if you can pull them off. But the fact that I'm comparing this to Ribbon Road at all is a huge boost for this track, because I love Ribbon Road, and I think this feels like Ribbon Road when you play it. It's just there's just always something going on. The track layout is simple yet engaging. I would say this is the best track in the Wave probably, and I would say if any track is hitting S, it should be this one. But I'll defer that to you guys to hear exactly what you guys want to say about this brand new Nitro track.
Yeah, it's just cool. There's so many just little fun things, like hitting the bath bombs for boost there, or trying to hit the toilet geyser to get to the upper level. There's just so much going on with this track, but it doesn't feel overwhelming at the same time. It's got a simple path. It's fun Mario Kart. That's what it is, and I'd have to agree. It's definitely the best track in this Wave. I'm not sure where it lands on my overall track listing just yet, because I've really only played it twice. But I think I'd be down to put it in S overall for the Wave. The Wave,
I agree. Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah, this is a terrible picture of it, but we roll with that. So peak, honestly peak. What do we want to go with next here, guys?
Probably LA Laps. It's the first of the.
Yep. Let's do it.
First of the Cherry Cup.
LA Laps. I think it's a great track. I'll take it. It's kind of. Okay, what I love about it is just it's a very fun track to play. Maybe the visuals are I don't even know what to say. It's just there's so many drifts and stuff. It's my favorite city track, I'd have to say. So far.
Wow.
I don't think it's I think Athens Dash is better as a stylistic track, but I feel just for some reason LA Laps is super fun to play. There's no real rhyme or reason to me saying that, but it just is.
I mean, it is.
Opinion.
Yeah, it's a fun time. I could see this being some people's favorite city track. I don't think it's my favorite necessarily. I think it's probably about on par with Athens, though. If I'm just think about it logically, you got the part with the in the field at the end. I don't even know, what is that, an oil field or something with the little things that come down and try and squish you. You glide through a baseball stadium. There's a skate park at the beginning on the beach with half pipes and stuff. It's pretty cool. I think the one problem I have with LA Laps is it does kind of fall into the trap occasionally, very occasionally, of there being a solid 20-second period where you're just kind of driving in the city and just doing snake turns and just that's about it. And there are a couple of sections like that in the course, but whenever there's something unique happening here, right now, if visual viewers, if you're watching, he's just driving straight, and now finally he's in whatever this area is, the oil field area again. This area is super cool. Whenever there's something happening in LA Laps, it's a great course. There's just occasional points where nothing is going on. Which
that's where I think it falls apart with the city, fan service, not fan service, but whatever it's called, just Easter eggs of the city, where it's trying to get from a place to a place, and in between is always a little boring. Yeah. It's just a
landmark slideshow. It's just trying to get you from okay, now you're in the financial district. Now we're going to the beach. Now you're going to it's just. It's okay, I don't need to drive.
But
for
it
30
is
seconds
it is showing off how LA has very boring transit, because you have to drive from place to place and it takes forever. So maybe it's actually
it is realistic. So I guess. If they were to make it realistic, they'd put 1 million cars in there and give you a bunch of traffic. And there would be
the time trial is 3 hours.
Yeah, the world record's like 4 hours. Yeah.
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 That would be so funny.
Right.
As far as city tracks go, I think it's a good one. It's kind of just like, for me at least, there's not a ton more to say. Like, I feel like this isn't the fault of LA Laps, but we've gotten to the point now where we've had how many city tracks are there in the game? Like, that we've gotten
8? No, way
we've
more
gotten
than 8.
5
Way more.
waves. No, we've gotten 12 city tracks in the game now.
Oh my god! I mean, hey, I can't name them
because
all,
we've
but
gotten
like, I believe
two per wave, which is 10.
Yeah.
But the last 2 waves each had 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've gotten 12 city tracks in the game right now. I'm just gonna be honest; they're not like super enjoyable for me anymore. Mostly, like Athens didn't really feel like a city track, so I thought it was good. This feels like a city track. It feels like one of the best city tracks we've gotten, but it still feels like a city track, and I just am bored.
Yeah.
I'm just
That's
bored,
kind of
so
I can feel that. I've definitely been like a naysayer to the city tracks like overall throughout the booster course pass, and LA Laps is definitely probably one of my favorite of the city tracks, but I do understand like how you're like feeling about like the oversaturation.
It just
of
feels
the
the
city tracks
same.
in here.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Athens
wasn't
feels
even
the
like a
most
huge hater
unique
of them.
for sure.
Yeah, it's this wave really did me in. Like I even throughout last wave, wave 4, I was like, yeah, these tracks like, you know, they're a little boring, but they're still unique. We're getting like new tracks, and like at this point, I'm just like kind of take it or leave it with the city tracks. Like I'm a little burnt out on them.
Yeah.
I think it's because the last 2 waves have had 3 city tracks. Almost half the new tracks we've gotten in the last 2 waves have been city tracks from 4. I just like
I mean, the way I look at it is I'm not a huge fan of them, but at the end of the day, we kind of needed them for this to even happen, you could argue. And by this to happen, I mean the booster course pass. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not like the biggest fan, but like, it's just like, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable putting this at the end of B. I don't know about you guys, but after
I think
Koopa
that's
Cape.
Good.
Thoughts?
I would also
I
be
would put it
comfortable.
before. I'd put it before Koopa Cape personally, but
Really? Yeah.
I'm fine with whatever. I would like to also make a motion to move Athens up to A. I know I was just like
I'm
crapping
actually
on
down.
city tracks.
I'm actually so down. For
I think
that,
I think
Yeah,
it
I
is
agree.
noticeably
I agree.
better than LA Laps.
I agree.
Okay, so how do we feel about this? We got LA Laps going in B behind Koopa Cape. Thoughts?
I'd prefer it before Koopa Cape, but I don't know
Honestly,
about you.
I don't care. I'm just take it or leave it. The city tracks, I just don't. I've like lost all passion
he hates
for
it.
them. So
He hates it.
we could do a coin flip. We could do a coin flip live on the
Live?
pod.
Let's do
See
it.
where it goes.
Oh,
No?
really? Okay. Yeah, no,
Let's do
actually,
it.
you know what?
Why
Do
not?
it. Yeah.
Here, let me get. Do I have? I gotta have a.
Oh, the
coin here
camera's
somewhere.
following. It's following.
Oh yeah, it's following me.
It's so sick.
That is.
Okay, I got my Mario Odyssey game cartridge.
Yo.
Audio listeners, just like imagine. I'm
Wait, you
holding a
gotta
Mario
lick
Odyssey
it.
game
You gotta
cartridge.
lick it if you're gonna pull it out.
I'm not licking it. I have a piece of gum in
Okay.
my mouth. I'm not licking this. We got.
Now,
I've never actually done that before. It is kind of bitter.
Yeah.
What the hell? That's gross. Ugh, weird.
Yuck.
Yucky. But yeah, I'm flipping it. If it lands on Odyssey side, then Mac wins. If it lands on the other side, PJ wins. It is Odyssey side. So I forget what I said. I think Mac wins.
Me too.
I win.
So
yeah.
I don't know where that puts LA Labs.
I think
it's above
I
Koopa
think
Cape.
Mac wins too. What a shame.
Well, I'll keep the Odyssey cart over there in case we have any more disagreements.
Sure.
Let's move right along
To
to a
Moonview
track that
Highway.
honestly, I honestly was expecting to not like this track because I was so bored of the
Same
city
here.
tracks. I was like, this is gonna feel the same. The fact that it's 3 laps of the same thing somehow makes it feel not like a city track. Even though you're driving in a city for half the
That
track.
is interesting
like,
you say that.
it just feels, to me at least, it felt like a Mario Kart track. I've never had a huge affiliation with Moonview Highway. I played it on Mario Kart Wii a bunch, but I didn't love it back then. I don't even love it here. It feels like a Mario Kart track in a city, which I just like a lot. I also like how the boost pads are actually randomized from race to race, which I didn't know for a while until I was like, wait, this is not where these were last time.
Didn't know that.
Which is pretty cool. It just adds a little bit of randomness. On top of that, not only do you have the cars here, like the ones with the surfboard you can jump off of, but bomb cars, which allow you to do some cool snipes.
bomb
where you can hit
cars
it with
are
a green
cool.
shell. Yeah, I like this a lot. Like, there's some cool shortcuts here at the start.
You can go up to the hill at the top.
Yeah, I think that's really cool, hitting the slant right there to go around the grass, but like on the inside part. I think that's super neat.
Because it's not implied either.
I kind of got to figure
it wasn't one that I was super excited for in the past, but definitely surprised me. Like, I definitely had a good time while playing it. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I
think it's one of those weird things where we've been so used to getting like a bunch of like the big like fan tracks. Like, we got DK Summit, we got, I blanked, I have nothing else.
Mushroom Gorge,
DK Summit, like Mushroom Gorge, exactly. But
we're just naming other Wii tracks, but yeah.
Yeah, this is a solid track right here. It's a good time.
Yeah. Not all of them can be insane S tier, S++, but that doesn't mean the ones that aren't like the insane S++, like I would not say Moonview Highway is an insane, top tier track, but I think it's still a great time. Like, this is a very welcome addition to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yep.
Yeah. Not upset by it whatsoever.
I think it might feel weird in terms of a quote unquote city track, because I think the main issue that at least I have with the tour tracks is it's directing you in different directions all the time. There's these massive arrows on the screen, and then also it's like the width of the track, if that makes sense. Like,
it feels like a better Toad's Turnpike, in my opinion.
Yes, agreed. On the city tracks, like the tour ones at least, like the item boxes, there's gonna be like a median like in the road, and then it's like they kind of split them up, like they do that for like LA laps and stuff like that. It just feels really awkward, and it feels like a lot smaller. And Moonview Highway is a pretty wide track as soon as you get to like the main part here that we're seeing is like the downward slope with all the boost pads and everything, so it doesn't feel very like tight or anything like that. So I think that's probably why you partially feel that way. But yeah, I mean, it's just like a welcome addition. Like, that's a good take on it. Like, nothing special, nothing like I'd be freaking out excited about when I first saw it. But yeah, I mean, is what it is.
Yeah. So where does this land for you guys then?
For me, it's either end of B or start of C, but I kind of want to do like end of B.
I would have said high B, low A.
I'm leaning more with Mac.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's better than Koopa Cape and LA Laps, but
yeah, we want to put it here.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I just think it's a fun track. Like, it's just kind of it's a good time, but we can come back to that too. Okay.
Sunset Wilds
part.
It's so sad.
Wait, why? I'm confused.
My boy, look how they massacred my boy. Yeah, Sunset Wilds is one of my absolute favorite tracks. This was the first and only track we like completely 3D reanimated the entire thing. Not just like one shot of it from our Nintendo Direct a long time ago. Me and my friend Benji did, and just because I have a special like connection to this track. This was before it had ever been remade, by the way. So we couldn't pull from Tour or anything. We were pulling from just the Game Boy Advance to like make this remake, and it honestly came out somewhat similar to what Nintendo did. The same sort of like style of like the blocks and stuff. But one thing that did change, Nintendo, it's called Sunset Wilds. The course is called Sunset Wilds. That's because the sun gradually sets as the course goes on.
Insane.
That does not happen here. It is just, you're just driving on Sun Wilds. It's absolutely ridiculous that they did not add this in. The skybox has never looked better too. That's the sad part. Like, if this was just lap 1 and the sunset looked like that, I would be like, oh my god, this is about to be the greatest course ever made. The sun's about to set. It's about to look so good. And then it doesn't. It doesn't do that. And it's just so sad. I can understand why they didn't set the sun, because if you're playing on online, then when does it go? Is it based on like a time thing, or is it based on the laps? If it's based on the laps, if the first place person gets into the third lap, then it's going to set while someone's still on the second lap, or stuff like that. There are like logistical issues. I don't really care. I think all of those could and should have been worked out.
It should have just been whoever's in first place and then it sets. Like, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. Like, it's literally, it sets in Tour. It's not like they forgot about it.
Yeah.
It's that they decided they didn't want to put in the effort and do it. And it sucks because I think they did a really good job remaking this track. I think it's still like the simple, super circuit.
This look of it looks great. Yeah.
It looks great.
It's also fun. Like, it's a fun layout. There's good mushroom cuts here. You got to avoid the avoid the Shy Guys. There's like these cool boosts. The little like dinosaur print imprints in the track add like a fun layer of like, you got to avoid these, and they add a little texture. But I can't
Mac
like
would love
enjoy
that
this
he
track.
likes getting stepped on by dinosaurs.
We're bringing this up again, PJ.
I made a whole short about that. Yeah, I don't know. Even the fact that they banked this last turn, so there's a little bit of elevation change. Like, it's all so good, except the sun doesn't set, and it makes.
But here's the thing: do we drop it down a tier? Do we drop? Are we actually gonna be dropping it down a tier just because the skybox doesn't change though?
I'm gonna.
You're going to.
Like it's such a major change for what is a relatively simple layout of a track.
I would knock it down the entire.
That it's like
the entire thing.
Kind of
this should be.
It's like the main
if the
gimmick.
Sun set, it would be an S. If not, it's an F. I think.
Mac, this would be like
in between.
Okay, I'm about to make a crazy comparison. This would be like if DK Summit removed the skip, like the infamous skip and the half pipes, in my opinion. Like, I feel like it's that big of a change, because for what this course is, like, again, it's a relatively simple layout. The main gimmick was basically numbed down to sunset, frozen in time, wilds. Like, that's literally what it was. So it's like, it's kind of a shame. I feel like they definitely either got a little lazy here or didn't feel like doing that workaround, whether it be the sun starts to change or like the sunset starts to change, like when somebody in fourth place crosses like the next lap line. Like, I don't know how they would have done it, or if it's first, who knows, but definitely a little disappointing, and they could have done it a lot better in terms of that. But still, I mean, it looks visually great. So with that, where do we want to put this, guys? I feel like Thomas is about to say top of C. No, come on.
F tier.
Oh,
F
no.
tier. F tier.
I can't
We
do
must
that.
make them pay for what they took from us. We must make them pay.
It's like I it would feel so bad faith doing that. Like, I at most would put it like top of C.
Nintendo lied. Sunset died. Please make Sunset Wild great again, please.
Okay,
what do you think of this?
What is the track
I
in
have no
C?
help.
I can't see.
The track in
That
C
is
is Daisy
Daisy
Cruiser.
Which one am I gonna have more fun on? That's the question.
Realistically, I think it's Sunset Wilds every time.
I think it is. I think it is too.
I would have to put it then in B or high C. It would be end of B or high C for me.
I'm comfortable doing high C.
I'm comfortable with high C as well. It doesn't deserve low B because they got rid of the sunset. So
if I'm being honest, if the sun set, I would be making my case for this to be top of A. I'm not even joking.
Yeah,
it means that much
that's
to me.
fair. No, that's fair.
Like, I love this. Everything about this track I love, except I feel bad enjoying it because they got rid of the sun. And I don't want to reward just like lazy behavior.
A couple of young adults had the same, had the the thought to put the sunset in and how it changes in a concept video made in Blender or whatever you guys used, and they didn't.
Yeah.
What a shame.
It's just gonna make me cry.
All right, guys. So last track here, Canada. Thoughts? Vancouver Velocity.
Yeah, you should go. It's your country.
Yeah, I can't even remember what happens in this track. I feel
good
like
off that.
This one, like, I remember everyone saying from Mario Kart Tour, this was one of the best city tracks, blah, 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 blah. Little disappointed. It wasn't, like, insane.
Yeah.
I like the anti-gravity suspension bridge. I like how this first suspension bridge area, you can, like, do a little shortcut with the, like, red graded bridge. That's pretty cool. But it falls into the city trap a lot of, like, we drive through a hockey rink because it's Canada. So let's go to a hockey rink. But then once we're there, there's a random circle in the middle of the hockey rink. So we have to take the most like awkward 90-degree turn to get out of here. Like, it doesn't feel, parts of it feel great to race on, and then parts of it feel like a custom track.
Meh.
And that's the problem with most of the city tracks. Like what am I looking at right now? This is not fun. This is just holding Y and dodging items. Yeah, I don't know. I still think the city tracks are a little boring. I think this might be a discussion for after we rank Vancouver Velocity, but I think we've been a little bit too harsh on all the tracks. I think maybe a communal track bump up a little bit on the tier list might be in order, because I don't think I would also have to say this is B, but I don't think all the tracks are B. But I think we've put like every single track in B and C, besides like Squeaky Clean Sprint and maybe like Moonview Highway. I forget, but
Athens and Moonview Highway, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I definitely think this wave has the best city tracks that have been released in Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. I think Athens, I think LA Laps, and I think Vancouver Velocity are all three probably in my opinion top 3 city tracks. But there's a bit of burnout with them, so it's kind of hard to rank them.
Yep, exactly.
I think B is a good place for it. But I kind of like that. I think it's a little more difficult. It's got like a little edge to it. I don't know. It's interesting.
It's not even like a difficulty thing. Like, I see where you're coming from. It's not even like a difficulty thing. I just feel like the actual visual look of it feels like I'm playing Mario Kart Tour, but in like 4K. Like if I have,
but
like,
we've been saying that
iPhone
since Wave
Pro.
1, so.
Well, no, I know, but I don't know.
You should look at Tokyo Drift.
With it.
That course is terrible.
I mean, the difference between this and New York Minute is night and day. So I guess the track is good. Like, the track is objectively good.
I just feel like feel like they should have expanded like the width of like the bridge and stuff like that. I don't know why. I would just have loved to see that, just to see if that would have made like a difference at all. I don't know. Like, I feel like they could have expanded on this a little bit, but who knows? I mean, it's just like my opinion on the tour tracks, but or not the tour tracks, but like the city tracks. But yeah, anyway.
No, you could be right. I don't know. I say this is B. Let's bring back up the tier list, and we'll okay. Let me take a gander at this. Okay.
I think
I'm about to suggest some crazy stuff right now.
Okay. You go.
I think this goes to the bottom
Vancouver.
Of B.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Let's let him cook for a second, then we can adjust after that.
We'll hear him out, and then the council decide his fate.
Yes, indeed.
I would say we take LA Laps. I think Moonview Highway is better than Athens. I don't know. I would say that right now.
I agree.
So I agree. Moonview goes to top A.
Damn.
Athens is low A. LA Laps is also low A. And then Daisy Cruiser gets shifted down to F tier, except we just rename it to D, because it's not an F tier track, but it is. I think there is a sizable difference between that and Sunset.
Wait, you can just type it like that? I always went to settings.
No, Mac learns about Tier List Maker.
Oh no,
this is inspirational content.
He learns live.
Yeah, I don't even know what I just said. I just think. Okay. I think like.
I think Daisy Cruiser goes down to D. I think I'm fine with moving Moonview Highway above Athens Dash, and then
putting this here.
LA goes
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Is there a discussion that Vancouver's better than Koopa Cape or no?
No, I think no way. I think no way. No, because Koopa Cape feels like a Mario Kart track, and Vancouver just feels like some weird take on Vancouver. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think these, like, for visual viewers here, oh my god, the camera's moving with your water bottle. I think visual viewers on like watch. So like, okay, again, these torches, I think it's kind of like a nod to the Olympics maybe, because of the Vancouver 2020 Olympics, right? For sure. So that's like kind of nice, but I mean, you just see like mountainous kind of, Whistler moment for skiing and all that, skiing, snowboarding, which is cool. But I'm just like not a fan of like the Vancouver Velocity track as much. Like, I can't see it being better than Koopa Cape, even with the changes due to Mario Kart 8's playstyle. That's just me. But like where we're at right now, I don't hate it. Like, I don't hate it. I personally would move Koopa Cape to A and then move LA to B, or to top of B. But that's just me. Like, I'm fine with this though.
I don't hate that either.
No?
I mean, I'm kind of just indifferent. I feel like this wave for me is like... I've just been indifferent with this wave. I have two really strong opinions, and that is I really like Squeaky Clean Sprint, and I really am disappointed in Sunset Wilds. I don't think it's bad. I'm just disappointed in it. But those are very strong opinions.
I have very similar feelings about this wave, and I think what it is that every single wave from 1 to 4 was progressively getting better, and this feels like a step down after wave 4 in my opinion. I think the quality is probably the same, but the tracks aren't. I think wave 4 just by far has the best tracks so far.
That's fair. Yeah.
I can see it. Yeah, between Waluigi Stadium, DK Snowboard Cross. Why did I just say that's a European name? What's it? DK
Summit.
DK Summit. Oh my gosh. I just completely blanked.
Even what's the GBA Jungle one? I really enjoyed that one.
Oh, Riverside Park.
I think that one's great.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I'm forgetting everything.
I think there's a European name for that as well. I think it's Riverside.
That was literally just tweeted out by the Mario Kart Tour account, right? Because that course is coming to Tour. I just mixed up those words. Apparently.
Okay. Well, good for Tour people.
And us.
Yeah.
Soon,
okay.
Probably.
Yeah. Fair.
Anyway, I mean, I think I'm satisfied with this for sure. Yeah, I think.
I agree.
We can close it.
Agree. Do we want to list it out for audio listeners?
Sure.
Yeah. We'll give it one quick list. So, S tier, Squeaky Clean Sprint. It is the only S tier track, and well deserved to be so. One of the best new Nitro tracks I think we've gotten since Big Blue. I think this is the best Nitro track of the Booster Pass, only to be potentially rivaled by. I guess you could say Yoshi's Island. But
I think Yoshi's Island's good, but I think Squeaky Clean's better.
I would agree with you. Yeah, I think it's a lot better. Then moving on down to A tier, we have Moonview Highway, Athens Dash, and Koopa Cape. And then B tier, we have LA Laps, then Vancouver Velocity. C tier, we have Sunset Wilds, which would be bumped up to A tier if they actually did it right, but it's not. So it's C tier. And then D for Daisy, we got Daisy's Cruiser. All the way down to D tier.
We're going to get some hate for that. Boring. We're going to get some hate for that.
I think so. I didn't intend to put it down there. I feel like D tier has such a... Yeah, it's just it just kind of is. It's it's the city tracks of the night of the retro tracks. It just kind of exists. Yeah. It's just there. I don't know. Anyway... Wave 5. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Yeah, we'll move right along, but please let us know your thoughts if you're watching this down in the comments below. If you're listening to this, tweet at us at Nintendo Tonight. And now, we're keeping on the Mario Kart train. The Booster Course Pass did a lot for Mario Kart. We got a double. We doubled the amount of courses from 48 all the way up to 96, which is absolutely insane. No one expected that. And we got a lot of, or arguably all of these courses, kind of pulled from Tour into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Course Pass. Now that works. The weird thing is, though, Tour is still getting new courses. There are a lot of courses new to Tour that are in Tour that are not being brought over, and now with only one wave left, there are more than 6 courses that have to come over. We are going to be in this weird kind of situation where Nintendo has shown that they enjoy bringing courses from Tour over to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe so that we can, pay for them and play them. But they have extra courses in Tour, but because they've limited the Booster Course Pass to only 6 waves, which is what they said when they initially started, they almost are stranded. There are courses that are just going to be stranded on this mobile game, which will eventually shut down and will be abandoned forever. So, arguably, it's weird. Do we think... Here, I'll ask the question, and I want to get your guys' takes on this.
Okay.
As kind of our second main topic for the day, do you think there will be any sort of new courses coming after this? And if so, will they be a part of a new Booster Course Pass? Or do you think maybe they just add here's a good faith update of 2 new cups with a bunch of final courses? Or do you think we get Wave 6, we get our 2 final cups, and that is it? Nothing. No Booster Course Pass Volume 2, no Wave 7, no nothing. It's just over.
I don't think we get something like the Booster Course Pass. I don't think we're getting 48 more tracks. I just don't think that's possible or going to happen. I could suspect a bonus 2 cups thrown in there maybe a year and a half later, or I don't know, but I just don't see it being likely. I know there's a lot of people talking about the little thing in the corner that says waves 1 through 6, and that wasn't there for the first 3 waves. So maybe that they changed that and they've got there's a possibility. I'm not giving up hope that that could happen, but I'm not like crossing my fingers.
Okay, I have an interesting take for this. It is Switch 2 related. So we're about to have the most content that we've ever had in any Mario Kart game, and it's not even close. Actually, we've already reached that point. But anyway, after Wave 6 is done, let's just say, it's over, and we're basically waiting for a new Mario Kart in the new system. Mm-hmm. How are they going to top this? Because we know that Nintendo kind of loves to one-up themselves, like no pun intended, with their games and everything like that. They always want to get better, as every game developer should. But anyway, in terms of like content, like we have 96 courses by the time that all of the waves are going to end. Do you guys really see another wave? And then pretty much after, the Switch's life is done, which I don't know, I'm going to predict is another like year and a half, maybe 2 years at most. You really think that they're just going to leave all this content and then make like a new Mario Kart game again? It's going to have like a lot less content, and people are going to be like, but we just got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's booster course pass with all this content. How? I'm interested, like, what you guys think about that.
Funny enough, I think it's okay if they do that. If they go and make a new Mario Kart game with 48 new courses, and it's got, like, I think they can sell that, and they'd be content with that. I don't think they need to one-up themselves, if I'm being completely honest. I'd be upset because, like, we wouldn't have all these courses from the booster course pass, or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in general. But I think the next Mario Kart game is going to kind of go back to its roots. So
my issue is that we didn't get this sooner. I just feel like the timing of it is all thrown off. Like, I feel like since COVID happened and all of the development delays and kind of how the release schedule went, this probably should have come out like a couple years sooner, when it just never did. And it's very strange, or not very strange, but it's just kind of interesting to think about, because I don't know. I just feel like we're going to get all of this content, and then we're going to a new system. And then, of course, Nintendo's going to have a new Mario Kart coming soon, soon after the console's released, because it's one of the biggest franchises on the Switch, or the biggest franchise on the Switch. So, like, I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe they just keep selling 8 Deluxe on the next system, and then they don't make a new Mario Kart.
I don't know, man. That's well, I think it's going to be backwards compatible, but that's so weird. I don't know.
It is weird, because if you ask me, like, before the booster course pass, like, what do you think? What are you going to say if Nintendo ports over Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to the next console?
8 Deluxe.
I would literally be like, this is like, I would lose my mind. But now we have 96 tracks. Do you know how hard it's going to be to go back to 32 or 48?
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah.
It's almost impossible to leave behind. So, honestly, I think what they're going to do is they might not have a second booster pass. They might not. But I think whatever the Switch 2 is, it's backwards compatible. You can still play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The servers are still up and whatever. And then we get a Mario Kart on the Switch 2, not for maybe 3 or... Like, that's a, like, mid to late generation game. I think we are far off from whatever the next Mario Kart is, if it's, from its next home installment. And when I say that, it's like, all right, so I believe personally that we're not getting a new Mario Kart till like maybe 2027 or something, because just like, if you think about it, the Switch 2 comes out next year. You can still buy Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I don't think they release a new Mario Kart until 2026 or 2027. In that case, it feels like, why wouldn't we get a second booster pass? Like, if we're still going to be waiting another 3 years, like...
It doesn't take that much effort for them. It doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a good point. It's so bizarre.
That's like, weird.
They could very easily just say, hey, yeah, Booster Pass 2, we're doing... Maybe it's only 32 tracks. Maybe it is another 48. And, somehow they fit that onto the menu. Like, I don't know, but it feels almost like more than possible. Because if we're not getting DLC, or if we're not getting a new track, or a new game rather, then new tracks to the old game, like just continuing to do what they've been doing. I don't know. It makes sense. It's just so weird to think about, but
I think it's interesting you say that, because I was being a little short-sighted, because I'm like, PJ is talking about like how like there's probably a new like system coming out in the next like year or two, so that like makes me think, oh, they wouldn't make a booster course pass because we already got a new system coming out in like 2 years. That means new Mario Kart would like come out then. But no, it would probably be a late system release or mid to late. So would be like 2027, 2028. And then what you got there?
I don't know. I was trying to make my camera focus, but I have it's like a fuzz from my shirt.
Interesting.
You can kind of see it. Anyway, I'm trying to get my camera to focus on me, but it won't work.
Yeah.
That's why I had it zoomed in on Mac there. Don't worry, man. Production is helping.
Oh, beauty.
What was I saying? Booster course pass?
Something like that, yeah.
Possible. Yeah.
As you were saying that, literally Megan Thee Stallion just started blasting in my ears for no reason. That was probably the funniest. I wish I could like clip what my sensory perception was, because I'm watching you guys plus the Mario Kart thing with like big podcast light on me. Mac is just like, yeah, booster goes fast. And then I just hear, I press the wrong button at my keyboard and it just goes, body yada yada. I just had sensory overload. I don't even know what just happened. Oh my gosh. Let's get back to
PJ will have to edit that in afterwards if you don't mind.
No, I don't think he
Most
should.
definitely not.
I think he
Most definitely not.
That's a copyright.
Oh yeah.
Concern, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Booster pass. I don't know. Let's get a quick show of hands. Let's get like a 10 being it's going to happen.
Free thinkers.
Yeah, 10 being it's absolutely free thinkers when we say show of hands. Okay, 10 is an absolutely it's guaranteed. 0 as in no chance in hell. 5 as in like 50%. I couldn't think of something that's like actually 50%. So
coin flip.
I'll just say that. Yeah, coin flip. Will we get a second booster pass? 3, 2, 1, show of hands. Oh, I messed up. I'm doing 5. I think it's a coin flip.
Yep.
You know what we do when we have a coin flip?
I think
we flip the Odyssey.
Let's ask. Yeah.
Mario Odyssey here. Guys, this is a Nintendo Tonight exclusive. This will determine whether or not we get a new booster pass. This means we do.
Yep.
This means we don't.
Odyssey side means we do. The disgusting side means we don't.
Oh!
Oh my god. The Odyssey side won.
Big.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Big.
That's huge. That's huge.
Really big, guys. So yeah,
let's
booster
go.
pass.
The channel's not gonna die. Let's go.
Yeah.
When do we get like an announcement?
We'll have a lot of stuff to talk about. Yeah, it'll probably get announced. No, honestly, if they're going to announce a new booster pass,
it's gonna be in Wave 6,
like
right?
It would be with Wave 6. Yeah, I feel like what they would do
Smash.
is when Byleth at the end of Wave 1. I honestly think here's what it's going to be. Yeah. I'm just going to predict this right now, so when it happens, I get $1 million. Because that's what happens when you have an accurate prediction. So,
of course, September
Nintendo Direct rolls around. Actually, a lot sooner than we would think. Like, very soon. Maybe there's not... Actually, I'm going to scratch that. We're not getting a September... It'll be a late September, maybe early October Direct. And we get that Direct. It'll talk about Mario Wonder a lot. We'll probably get Zelda DLC. It'll be a good time. We'll get the reveal of the new characters coming and like a new track coming for Wave 6. Or maybe they reveal the whole thing and just say screw it. But then we also get like a like little teaser for the second booster pass. And that's like the big like stinger at the end of the Direct. And everyone's like, another one? But that's what they do.
That's what they do, yeah.
That's what they do. And maybe the next one is like... Maybe it's like spread out even longer, or maybe it's condensed even shorter. I don't know. I don't think they do another 6 waves over 2 years thing. I think they do something to switch it up. But
4 waves over a year. I think I could see that in one every every 3 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is it going to be?
I just don't see 48 more tracks. That's the only thing with the booster course pass too. So I think it would be like a smaller pass.
I don't think they do a smaller one though. But
you don't?
Would there even be enough tracks? How many new tracks would they have to make?
They have just about like 40 something right now. So they're close, but they're going to be drawing from the bottom of the barrel.
we're getting like vanilla like 1, 2, and 3 as different tracks, right?
No, because I when I did the math, if you condensed down all of the like, you know,
variants,
the 1, 2s, and 3s of everything, it comes out to be around like I think 41. So they could do it, but I feel like, do we really need all those tracks is the question. Like,
yes.
Like
I would like to play every track ever in Mario Kart.
But there's some stinkers in there.
No, there are. We are already reaching the bottom of the barrel. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we have a bunch of tour tracks. A bunch of them.
We will have, I believe, 14 city tracks in the game by the time the DLC's over.
No.
14 or 15, depending on how many are in Wave 6. So,
who's to say?
I don't know. Yeah, who is to say? Is that even a good thing? Is the game actively getting worse if they make a new booster pass? Yeah, I think it's impossible to say it's getting worse, but like,
because then you go online and then you just get a bunch of the stinkers from past 2. You know?
Yeah.
Yes, I guess that's
I don't know. It's weird.
That's so interesting.
It's almost like impossible to decide. Yeah, it is very interesting.
I personally feel like they should make this the last booster course pass. I feel like Wave 6 will probably we're going to get, like, I don't know, whether it's Pauline or Diddy or Funky or somebody crazy like that. I mean, we'll get some cool characters. We'll get a couple cool courses. You know, we'll come back here. We'll complain about how terrible the city tracks are, the usual. And then, you know, I feel like that's it. And then, you know, overall, the booster course pass should have been a thing probably, like, I don't know, 4 years ago. But is what it is. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Nintendo didn't want to have 2 streams of like active DLC content carrying the Deluxe in terms of Smash and Mario Kart. I don't know. But for whatever reason, this came out a lot later than it probably should have. But oh well. I mean,
I've got a final question that I saw on Twitter like about a week ago, and I thought it was super interesting because there was a lot of people on the other side of me, and I wanted to hear your thoughts. What do you think was better, the booster course pass or Fighters Pass 1 and 2 combined?
Oh, I saw this too.
I did too.
Volume 2 or Volume 1?
No, both of those combined. 1 and 2.
I would say 100% still the booster pass.
I agree.
I'm just a bigger Mario Kart fan than Smash fan, but like,
not to mention it's cheaper by like 50%, but when you get new characters in Smash, you play them for like a day and a half, and then you go back to your main. With the new courses, the new courses are universal to all players, in my opinion.
Even if that's not
compared
true,
to
even if you still, even if you play random fighters every time, so you always will be able to play again with these new characters now. I still think it's the booster pass. You get way more content for what you're paying for.
Yeah.
Like way more.
That's true.
That's
true. And I mean, you're getting 6 characters and 48 new courses. I mean, like, Smash, like, I could totally be biased and say, oh, Smash because we got, you know, like Sephiroth and we got Sora and stuff like that. But I just feel like that would just be unfair. Like, it is without a doubt the booster course pass. It's just like so much content, and like
the
Mac
fighter reveals maybe
wrong. The fighter reveals are like legendary and it's like iconic. I know. And then there's a couple like
for sure.
Yeah, they're like the Fire Emblem characters. Like when Byleth got revealed, I wasn't like, oh my god. It's just that game sold like what 3 million copies. Like I don't know, boring to me. Like a couple of the character reveals were just kind of like either who and why. That was a lot of them, but like with Mario Kart, it's like every single wave I'm seeing something where it's like, oh my god, this is so cool. Like XYZ got revealed and you know whatever. It's like I don't know. I just feel like it's Mario Kart all the way, and that's coming from a guy who like loved the Fighter Pass and had like a Smash channel going for so many years, and it's just like without a doubt Mario Kart. I feel like.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I feel like even if it was like, even if I could pick what's it? There's 5 characters in the first pass, 6 in the second. Even if I could pick the 11, let's call it 12, including Piranha Plant. Even if I could pick the 12 DLC characters,
Mario Kart's so better.
And they were like exactly the ones I want, I still think the booster pass wins. It's 48 new characters.
Courses.
Or tracks, rather. Tracks.
Yep.
I like.
Okay, so it is $5 a fighter and then 1.92 per track. That's just such a better deal.
Yeah, I mean, with the fighters, you get like new music and a stage too, but like...
Who? Asked?
Yeah, I'm not using it. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just kind of is.
This
like,
guy,
it's the same with like...
guy.
It would be like if you factor in the characters like Birdo and all the Birdo alts into the booster pass. It's like,
Yeah.
And keep in mind... Oh, no, sorry. No, go ahead.
No. That's all I had to say. I think it's definitely the booster pass.
I mean, we also bought the booster course pass. What I was going to say, we also bought the booster course pass knowing that it was only going to be tracks. Like, they added characters like halfway through this, and it's like, oh my god, this is like an even better deal somehow. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just great. It's just great for sure. Like, I mean, Smash couldn't have added something in the fighter pass that could have like made it better. Like, I don't know, maybe like a couple more stages or like a surprise. I don't know. But it's not like...
But there's such a weird like difference between Mario Kart and Smash. Like, the tracks being added compared to a fighter or a stage, it just doesn't compare because the tracks are like, they're the main characters of the game, not the fighters like in Smash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half the hype behind Smash is the character reveal trailers too. And it's like...
The reveal trailers were obviously like,
Yeah, it's a temporary high.
Either at Smash. Because like, adding in Steve to the game has got to be like an impossible undertaking. Like, coding.
Yeah, it was a cultural moment. All the
characters, like it's a huge deal, and I understand why they charge so much, but like, it's just we're comparing apples and potatoes. It's like almost impossible to compare the two because with like Mario Kart, they just take a tour track, replace some textures, and it adds more replayability. It's like almost as much replayability as a fighter. Pretty like. Like, I would say, I was waiting to say, like, one cup is worth, like, one fighter from the Fighter's Pass. But it's not, you get 48 tracks. You get 12 cups. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question, though. I wonder what people think. Let us know down in the comments or wherever you communicate with us. What you guys think?
Yeah.
Fighter Pass versus Booster Course Pass.
God, that's so interesting,
Huh. Yeah. Anyway... that's about it. In terms of like, Mario is the new booster pass coming? We'll see. We didn't really come to a conclusion. I guess that the cartridge flip concluded for us. But,
yeah. Well, actually, let's just say this right before the end of the episode. Like, let's just decide really quick before we get into it. So let's just like kind of go around and get an answer. Thomas, you think it's happening? Yes or no?
If I had to say yes or no,
yep.
I'm gonna just say no.
I'm also like going with no.
Now.
I'm going with no.
The cartridge doesn't lie.
The cartridge doesn't lie. I love that mindset. Stick it with the cartridge. The Mario Odyssey cartridge has foretold the second booster pass. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Let us know down in the comments, what are your thoughts on Wave 5? Do you agree with our ranking, or do you hate us because Daisy Cruiser should have been higher? Let us know down in the comments below. I can't believe we ranked that the worst course, but anyway, we can't get back into that.
I didn't come into this expecting that.
I didn't either, but my hatred just kind of like overpowered the group, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Let us know. Same with the second booster pass. Are we going to get one? Who knows? You do. Let us know, actually, down in the comments. And with that out of the way, that has been episode 54 of Nintendo Tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been joined by Mac and PJ. I'm Thomas, as always, signing off. Peace. See you guys.
Later.